In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to build mental strength through deliberate action. What's going on? My name is Brandon Epstein. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we explore the intersection between peak performance and peak experience. And we help you, the athlete or high performer, utilize this information to perform at your peak levels. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to build mental strength or mental muscle. And really, this is so important because I hear all the time from my other YouTube channel, the Jump Rope Dudes, I'll throw it up in the corner of the screen right now, that people don't follow through with their goals because they feel like they're too lazy, or they don't have enough motivation, or they just don't think they have what it takes to do the thing, take action long enough to see results. So I want to explain how building up mental muscle or mental strength works and really teach you how to take action long enough to get what you want. It's not an issue of not having enough motivation or being too lazy. What really is going on here is you haven't built up enough mental muscle to handle the load that you're putting on yourself. So you're stressing yourself and you don't have enough muscle, so you're giving out and you're giving up. So I'm going to teach you how to build up that mental strength so you can stay consistent and achieve your goals. Let's talk about mental versus physical strength. I really like this metaphor because I think it's something that you're going to be able to understand quickly, and it really makes sense in regards to how to build mental strength. So think about this. Let's say that you can bench 225 pounds. Well, the next day you wouldn't try to bench 400 pounds, right? It's a process. You have to build that strength slowly by adding a little bit more resistance over time. So what you would do is, maybe a week or two later, you would try 230 pounds. And then a couple weeks later, you try 240 pounds. And maybe 3 or 4 years later, you get to that 400-pound point. So if you have this big lofty goal that you want to achieve, don't try to do it all at once. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to continually stress your body and put a little bit more energy in day after day, and eventually you're going to have the mental strength to stick around long enough to get what you want. Now, why build mental strength? Why is this important? Well, it's important because a lot of people are confused on how to actually achieve their goals. So you don't achieve your goal by becoming super talented or skilled because you're just gifted, right? That's not how it works. You achieve your goal by not quitting. See, most people don't achieve their goal because they just quit. They don't stick around taking consistent, focused action long enough to get what they want. And the reason they don't do it is because they're mentally weak. And that's okay. Everyone starts out mentally weak. You have to build this mental strength. And you build this mental strength, you build this grit by taking consistent action with a little bit more stress on yourself every time that you're taking this action. How does this work? Well, it works the same way that we talked about the metaphor when it comes to weightlifting. When you're weightlifting, you're gradually adding a little bit more weight or stress or resistance to yourself. The same thing goes for building mental strength. So let's say you have a goal that you want to achieve, and you start off with low motivation to achieve that goal. Well, don't try to achieve that goal overnight. Try to give yourself little sub-goals, little tiny goals to achieve on the way to creating your bigger goal. All right, so think about what it is a big grand thing that you want, and then break it down, chunk it down into small actions. Start with the tiniest action. If someone was going to do something physical, let's say on my jump rope channel, I tell them, they're like, hey, I want to get really fit. How do I start jumping rope? I'm like, well, why don't you start with the jumping rope 5 minutes today? And this tomorrow, try to do 5 minutes again. And over time, build up. So think about whatever your big lofty goal is and get yourself out of your comfort zone and start doing things that push yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to continually get yourself a little bit more out of your comfort zone, get a little more uncomfortable, get a little more stress, put your body through a little bit more resistance until eventually you're going to develop the mental strength and capacity to do whatever it is that you want. So how do you start? Where do you start? What is a good example? Well, I'm going to tell you my personal life. So shortly before I became 27 years old, I decided to start training for my first ever amateur boxing fight. Now again, this is a physical example, so this can be anything. You could have a work project that you're working towards, whatever it is. But for me, I knew that boxing was something that was scary. It was something that was going to stress me. It was going to be something that I didn't necessarily inherently want to do. It was going to take a lot of mental muscle to force myself to go do the training every day, to go do the sparring every day, to go put in all that effort. And so what I've done is I didn't try to fight the next day or the next week or the next month. What I've done is over time, I've continually put in more effort and more action until I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty proficient. And so your goal or whatever you're working toward, I want you to start in the same way. You're not going to achieve whatever you want overnight. Pick something. Like I picked boxing, and start taking small action steps and build your way up. Again, you have this big grandiose thing you want to achieve. You're going to reverse engineer that by chunking it down. You're going to build a mental strength by taking small actions and then bigger actions and bigger actions and bigger actions until you're able to achieve whatever you want. The moral of the story is stop avoiding pain. Pain is where growth happens. So you have to start to accept pain and start taking consistent, deliberate action. Because listen, everyone starts out lazy. No one wants to do hard stuff. The only way you get to a point where you're doing this big ambitious thing where everyone looks up to you and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that you have the discipline and effort to put in all this work and do that thing that they look up to you for, is because you started with small action steps. So stack one brick at a time, and eventually you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna really impress yourself with the kind of ambitious, incredible feats that you can accomplish. Finally, I want to tell you to play the long game. All right, life is longer than you think it is. Really try to pace out your goal and think, hey, you know what? Maybe it's going to take me 3 or 5 years to get where I want. Think about someone who's a professional boxer or someone who wants to get to the professional level in their sport. Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen after a year or 3 years. These things usually take 5, 10 years to get to the level of proficiency where you can really have a lot of success and perform at the highest level. So that is, again, why it's so important when you're playing the long game, try to find things that you really enjoy. Do things that you love, follow your bliss, find your passion, and do the things that may be really hard and they're painful, but they're worth it and they make you feel fulfilled when you do them. I want to end this video by giving you a challenge. What is something that you want to work towards? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know how you're challenging yourself. You already know my challenge is my boxing fight, and at some point I'm going to broadcast this on the YouTube channel if I haven't done so already. It depends, I guess, when you're watching this video. So that's my thing. Let me know what yours is. Drop it in the comments below, and I'm going to give you some personal coaching to help you achieve that goal. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Instagram account. I do a lot of posting on there, giving advice like I do here, and keep stacking them bricks.